I don't scare easy. Desert coyotes? Fine. Creaky floorboards? Sure. A mysterious monolith standing tall and foreboding in the middle of a field? Been there. Ran from that. But last night, I woke up and I couldn't move. Eyes open, breathing shallow, frozen in place like I'd been nailed to the bed. And he was there, in the doorway, tall, shadowy, wide-brimmed hat, no face, just watching.
I took the leap. Somebody's heart.
If you're hearing this, don't adjust your dials. We're doing it for you.
Good evening, my Twilight Travelers. You've tuned into the Brain Chew, and I'm your host, Gavin Zephyr. Alive, alert, and very, very caffeinated. Tonight's transmission, The Hat Man Cometh. Shadowpeople. Sleep paralysis. The tall figure with the wide-brimmed hat, reported in thousands of sightings across decades, countries, and even cultures. Some say he's a demon. Others, a leftover projection from corners of human fear. All I know is this. Last night, he came for me. And for those of you who are a little less versed in matters regarding this specific specter, strap on those proton packs and grab a proverbial plate, because this is the Brain Chew after all, and that means I'm about to dish you up a little food for thought. For tonight's main course, a heaping helping of something strange, and if it don't look good, who you gonna call? A psychiatrist. See what I did there? Well, okay. But seriously though, if you're unlucky enough to find yourself dealing with this particular phenomenon, you're gonna need one. I first heard of this on a crackling frequency out of New Mexico. A trucker, on a night route, called in, saying he hadn't slept in days, not since he saw a man in a wide-brimmed hat standing on the shoulder of I-25 at 3 a.m. When he slowed to look, the man turned his head. No face, no features, just the silhouette of attention. And when the trucker blinked, the man, the hat and all its foreboding, was gone. He laughed it off until he saw the same figure in his rear-view mirror later that very evening, standing at the edge of a rest stop light. Now, that's only one story out of thousands. Some see him in their bedrooms, others in mirrors, some on the edge of reason when sleep just wouldn't come. Researchers call it sleep paralysis, that half-awake limbo where the brain wakes up but the body doesn't, when you can't move, can't speak, but you can see. And that's when the Hat Man steps out of the twilight, smooth as smoke, his hauntingly daunting hat brim casting a shadow that swallows the room. Some say he leans over you, watching. Others swear that he sits at the end of the bed, patient as time. Is he real? Is he dream residue? Or is he something that's been standing there forever, just waiting for our eyes to adjust? Paranormal circles call him a commander, the general of shadowpeople. Psychologists call him a hypnagogic hallucination. Philosophers might call him an archetype, the mind's personification of dread. I'd call him, but he's never left a number. There are theories, though. One in particular. And you're free to file it under wild speculation. And that's that the Hat Man doesn't actually haunt us. He audits us. An auditor of fear, if you will. A being that checks the books every time we slip between worlds. Sleep is, after all, a nightly abduction. We disappear into an eternal cosmos, our bodies paralyzed, our minds adrift. Maybe, sometimes, something looks back. Here's where the science gets sticky. People dosed high on certain antihistamines, you've seen the memes, claim to meet him too. The Benadryl Hat Man, they call him. Turns out the brain, pushed just far enough into delirium, will conjure up a fedora faster than you can say, don't exceed 400 milligrams. So what does that mean? If chemistry can summon him, is he less real? Or more? Maybe he's not a being, but the shape our fear takes when logic is unplugged. Dosing discrepancies aside, even some folklorists have weighed in, pointing out that he might just be the newest mask pulled over the unseen face of an ancient nightmare. The old world had night hags, incubus, succubus, genies, and djinn, though as we've seen, not all of them turn out to be bad. And don't forget the ever-infamous Dark Watchers. All sporting the same posture, the same purpose, to remind us that darkness is never empty. And nothing terrifies us more than the idea that something polite, well-dressed, and patient might be staring from the dark. Speaking of well-dressed, descriptions barely change. 6 feet or taller, black coat, wide, glowing eyes in some versions, empty sockets in others. He doesn't speak. He observes. Sometimes he follows. But how far? I've spent years chasing these reports. Everything from audio logs to coast AM episodes, rifled through midnight forums and widespread threads in the dusty corners of Reddit, even diary entries and therapy transcripts. And one thing stands out. When witnesses talk about him, they all use the same words. He was watching. Never attacking, never speaking, just watching. And that, friends, might be the cruelest thing about this. Because we can fight monsters. We can run from ghosts. But being watched? That's a mirror you can't break. And if you're listening right now, lights off, blue light filter on, and your screen dimmed, look around your room. Every object throws a shadow. Every shadow has a depth you'll never measure. Maybe the Hat Man isn't in those depths. Maybe he is the depth. The outline around the unexplainable, drawn just wide enough for us to fear what's inside. Chew on that. And now that I've scooched you to the rain-slick precipice of sanity, how's about I talk you off that ledge with a little word from our sponsor.
Friends, are you feeling that midnight drowsiness creeping in? Is your eyelids growing heavy while shadows dance in the corner of the room? Don't you dare drift off, because he's waiting. That's right, folks, the Hat Man. But fear not, because DeLuna Coffee International is here to keep you bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and safe from the sinister silhouette of sleeplessness. Brew yourself a piping hot cup of DeLuna's bold midnight roast, crafted from only the finest beans this side of sanity. One sip and you'll be ready to stare down the darkness till dawn. So remember, pals, when the hour grows late and the shadows grow long, keep your eyes open, your mind sharp, and your mug full with DeLuna Coffee International. DeLuna, for those who refuse to blink.
I've heard the stories. I've aired the calls. But I always thought, not me. Then came the dream that wasn't a dream. I was awake, heart pounding, chest tight, and in the corner, a shape darker than the darkness, devoid of all light. He never moved. Never spoke, just watched, piercing my soul with eyes unseen. And the longer I stared into that black hole of a being, the more I felt it. He wasn't just watching, he was waiting. So, whether he is some dauntingly demonic deviant plotting my peril from a shadowy perch, or just an omnipresent operator simply running things from behind the scenes, one thing is certain. I've barely slept since. Okay, dear listeners, I think that's enough nightmare fuel for one evening. Tonight's moral: the line between dreams and nightmares is thinner than you think. And the difference between reality and revelations can push us to the brink. So, when enough people dream the same dream, I say, we should start taking attendance. For maybe, just maybe, we're not all that crazy. And, maybe, we owe the darkness a little curiosity before we call it evil. Well, that is it for this broadcast. This has been, and inevitably will continue to be, Gavin Zephyr, signing off from the Brain Chew, reminding you that when the things that go bump in the night make it hard to go to sleep, just remember, you're not alone. Till next time, my friends, as always, good night, and good luck to us all.
This episode was brought to you by insomnia, because who needs sleep when you've got caffeine? And you'll need caffeine so you can watch The Watchers. So keep pouring those cups time after time, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop us a line.